Right now on Good Morning America First Look, bracing for another storm. Officials in Southern California urging residents to reconsider holiday travel as torrential rain moves in. Dangerous flash flooding now expected with more than a foot of rain expected in some areas. The latest forecast ahead. Overnight, new details emerging about the deadly explosions at a Pennsylvania nursing home. Multiple blasts leveling parts of the building, trapping people inside. First responders making heroic rescues. What officials are saying about the cause. The Trump administration preparing to resume student loan wage garnishments for the first time since the pandemic, just as the president takes credit for surprise economic growth. But are Americans feeling the boom? An elderly man is found in the Florida woods after being lost without food and water for days. Costly mistake. Could the punch thrown at a fan end up costing DK Metcalf tens of millions of dollars? Plus, the fight over a home holiday light display that could end up in court. And could tonight's Powerball jackpot drawing lead to a Christmas miracle? It's Wednesday, December 24th.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Christmas Eve morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Battah. We begin with the nation's most serious weather threat taking aim at California right now.
The state has seen flooding rain, mostly in the northern part of the state, over the last few days. Now, Southern Californians are being asked to think twice before any holiday travel. This morning, officials in Southern California are urging residents to reconsider Christmas travel as the region braces for life-threatening flooding.
The last thing we want to do is ruin anybody's Christmas plans, but we have an obligation as a county family to say, to wave the flag and say there's a threat, a real threat out there.
Rounds of torrential rain and mountain snow are expected through Christmas, with showers extending into the weekend. Up to a foot of rain could fall in some spots. The greatest risk is for areas badly damaged by wildfires.
Here in Altadena, you see these empty lots from January's deadly wildfires. As families work to rebuild, right now they're trying to protect what they do have because the threat of mudslides and debris flow is a huge concern from hillsides like this, where you see these blue tarps.
It's getting pretty bad.
And days of heavy rain have already drenched Northern California, with more on the way. Wind gusts could reach as high as 60 miles per hour. Across the country, snow falling in parts of the Northeast, from Pennsylvania through New England. In Rhode Island, police rescuing this dog that fell through an icy pond. And a post-Christmas storm could bring even more wintry weather, making for treacherous travel across the Midwest to the East Coast. But other parts of the country could experience one of the warmest Christmases on record. Temperatures in Denver and Kansas City are expected to reach the 60s, while Houston and Orlando could approach 80 degrees. In close to 24 states, we'll see temperatures 15 to 30 degrees above average. We'll check your forecast in just a moment.
Our other major story this morning, a deadly blast killing at least 2 people and injuring 20 others at a nursing home outside Philadelphia. Staff members say they smelled gas days before the catastrophic explosion.
This morning, there are new questions after a deadly blast leveled part of a nursing home near Philadelphia.
It was definitely heard like a dynamite explosion.
Officials say firefighters were investigating reports of a gas leak at Silver Lake Nursing Home when the blast occurred.
We believe preliminarily that it was a gas leak that led to that. The explosion was really quite catastrophic.
Emergency crews rushing to the scene, rushing to evacuate the 120 residents and staff as black smoke filled the sky.
It's so devastating, and it's like a big family in there.
And as the rescue unfolded, a second blast occurred. The explosions trapping people inside the building as fires burned.
They pulled many residents out of the building via windows, doors, stuck in stairwells, stuck in elevator shafts. There was one police officer who literally threw 2 people over his shoulders and ran with people to help.
Overnight, officials saying all residents and staff have been found. Authorities are investigating the cause of the blast, but say the gas leak was in the facility's basement. One worker says they complained about a potential gas leak days ago.
On the weekend, we did smell gas, but because there was no heat in the room, so we didn't take it to be anything.
According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, the nursing home was inspected in October and was not in compliance with several state regulations, including missing fire extinguishers in parts of the building.
Large pieces of a Mexican Navy medical plane have been pulled from the water off Galveston, Texas. The plane crashed Monday, the death toll rising to 6 people after a missing victim's body was found. A father and son were among the first on the scene. Skydecker jumped into the water and pulled a survivor from the plane's debris. One other person also survived. Both are hospitalized in stable condition.
A Delaware state trooper shot and killed at a DMV office is now being called a hero. Police say the trooper was working an overtime shift when a gunman approached and opened fire. The wounded trooper pushed an employee out of harm's way before the gunman shot him again. The suspect was then fatally shot by another officer. Authorities are still trying to determine a motive.
President Trump is taking a victory lap after a new report showed the economy grew rapidly over the summer. The news coming as the administration prepares to garnish the wages of some who have defaulted on their student loans. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest. Nicole, good morning.
Sophie, good morning. Beginning the second week of January, the Trump administration says it will resume garnishing wages from student loan borrowers who are in default. It's the first time borrowers' paychecks have been garnished since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, roughly 1,000 defaulted borrowers will be affected in this first wave, with that number expected to increase throughout the year. Around 5.5 million borrowers are currently in default. Now, it comes as President Trump is taking credit after a new report showed the U.S. economy beat expectations, growing at an annual rate of 4.3% from July through September. But polls show 57% of registered voters disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy. And consumer confidence is at the lowest it's been since the U.S. rolled out tariffs in April. Experts warn spending by wealthier Americans is offsetting the reality of a 4-year high in unemployment. And with the effects of the recent government shutdown looming over the next report, experts warn the summer momentum may be short-lived. Hannah.
Nicole, thanks. A legal defeat for President Trump, the Supreme Court refusing to let his administration deploy National Guard troops to the Chicago area. The temporary order said the president failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Chief Justice John Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, and Brett Kavanaugh sided with the liberal justices on this one. The 6-3 decision could affect lawsuits challenging Trump's troop deployments in other cities.
President Trump is mentioned by name in the latest batch of Jeffrey Epstein files released by the Justice Department. The records also include references to potential co-conspirators. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
The Department of Justice on the defense after releasing more of the Jeffrey Epstein files early Tuesday morning. DOJ officials saying in a statement that some of the latest documents in this batch contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. The DOJ did not specify which documents it's referring to.
Why comment on the truth or untruth of specific allegations without identifying which allegations unless you're really representing the man and not the country? The job of the Department of Justice is to represent the United States of America in court and in legal matters. It is not to represent the personal interests of the president.
At least one email referenced Donald Trump sent from a federal prosecutor to unknown recipients, flagging that flight records from the 90s reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. Those documents later became public during Maxwell's 2021 trial. Trump and Epstein had a decades-long friendship, but Trump says they had a falling out in the early 2000s after he says Epstein stole Mar-a-Lago employees. This email also released that was sent the day after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in 2019 on charges of sex trafficking minors. An unidentified person at the New York FBI field office already in pursuit of potential collaborators writing, "When you get a chance, can you give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators?" In a July memo, the DOJ stated flatly there was not enough evidence to warrant prosecuting any uncharged third parties. Ghislaine Maxwell is the only person to ever be charged as an Epstein co-conspirator. She's serving a 20-year prison sentence after being convicted of sex trafficking minors. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Rena, thanks. The Coast Guard is still pursuing a Venezuela-linked oil tanker that fled into the Atlantic Ocean. This latest chase follows the recent seizures of 2 other tankers. Ambassador Mike Walls defending the military's actions at a UN Security Council meeting. The Venezuelan ambassador accusing the U.S. of violating international law.
In Paris, the Louvre is tightening security 2 months after that brazen jewel heist. Workers installed metal bars on the window thieves used to break into the museum and make off with crown jewels worth more than $100 million. All 4 suspects have been arrested and charged, but the jewels are still missing.
Time now for your Christmas Eve morning weather.
Good morning. Christmas Eve starts out snowy in parts of Maine. That'll wind down during the afternoon hours. Maybe one more swipe of some snow and rain in eastern Massachusetts. Otherwise, the big story is the major flooding across Southern California. We're getting into the brunt of this as we go through the morning into the mid-afternoon. By evening, it's still raining heavily in San Diego, although it's winding down in parts of Los Angeles. We could have over a half foot of rain in higher elevations north of L.A., 2 to 6 feet of snow in parts of the Sierra. Meanwhile, quiet across the rest of the country. In fact, record warm for Christmas across parts of the plains. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the man found after being lost in the woods without food or water for days.
Also ahead, why that punch DK Metcalf threw at a fan could end up costing him $45 million.
And later, the warning from TSA, why your favorite ugly Christmas sweater could cause delays at the gate.
We're back with Florida police finding a 72-year-old man who survived 4 days in the woods without food or water. He was found pinned to a tree unconscious but alive. He was taken to a local hospital and is expected to make a full recovery.
The mother of 9-year-old Melody Buzzard is in custody after DNA confirmed remains found in Utah belonged to the missing child. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the details.
Ashley Buzzard, mother of 9-year-old Melody, missing since October, taken into custody in Southern California on suspicion of first-degree murder. Authorities revealing they found human remains with gunshot wounds to the head in Utah earlier this month. DNA testing confirming a match for Melody.
And arrested Ashley Lynn Buzzard for the murder of Melody Buzzard.
The mother and daughter leaving their home in Lompoc on October 7th for a 3-day road trip to Nebraska. Ashley renting a white 2024 Chevy Malibu and traveling more than 3,000 miles round trip, according to authorities. This is the route investigators believe she took. Authorities claiming Ashley wore wigs and switched license plates along the way. Ashley returning home on October 10th, but Melody no longer with her. A school administrator reported her disappearance several days later.
Maternal filicide is rare and always difficult to comprehend. But this level of criminal activity is particularly shocking.
Ashley Buzzard is being held without bail at the Santa Barbara County Jail. She does not yet have a court date. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
Stephanie, thank you. Steelers receiver DK Metcalf is really paying the price for that altercation with a fan in Detroit Sunday. His 2-game suspension was upheld by the NFL, meaning Metcalf will lose more than $555,000 in salary. It also voids $45 million in future guaranteed money, according to his contract. Metcalf will sit out the Steelers' last 2 regular season games.
Coming up, he's making his list, and we're checking the radar. NORAD's Santa Tracker goes live today.
Also ahead, the fight over a holiday home light display that could be heading to court. Back now with NORAD's annual Santa Tracker, celebrating 70 years of monitoring the big guy's round-the-world journey today. Check out his progress at noradsanta.org. Volunteers there are also taking calls from anyone with concerns about Santa at 1-877-HI-NORAD.
A battle over Christmas lights in Maryland is moving from the rooftop to the courtroom. A family says their homeowners association is trying to find them into submission, but for now, the lights are staying on.
Clark? Clark! Nothing says Christmas like holiday lights.
Everybody come out quick, look at the lights!
But who decides how many lights are too many?
It's definitely like a jaw-dropping scene, why are we getting fined for Christmas lights?
Supoli and Pahan Salgado tell us they look forward all year to decorating their Germantown, Maryland home.
Right around Thanksgiving is when we start decorating the outside of our house. And last year we had a big, each year we have big displays called the Salgado Family Christmas Display.
But their homeowners association, Middlebrook Manor South, is saying bah humbug.
Christmas is a humbug. Good day.
Ordering them to take the lights down or receive a fine of $50 a day.
It's out of this world. It's a holiday that's celebrated across the world. How is the HOA supposed to stop that?
The fine started last Christmas when the Salgados admit they had a much bigger display. They say this year they toned down the display significantly, but it still was too much for the HOA. They warned that if the decorations don't come down, the fine will be going up.
And what they're doing is just hate.
The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season.
But the Salgados are not backing down and have hired a lawyer who says the enforcement appears inconsistent and unfair. He says they're going to challenge the fines and is confident they will win.
I did them all for you.
The HOA's lawyer says the rules are enforced uniformly and in compliance with Maryland law. We'll have much more from the Salgado family coming up at 7 a.m. on Good Morning America.
Well, of course, it's Christmas Eve, and millions of Americans are hoping for a Christmas miracle, with the Powerball jackpot now soaring to $1.7 billion. That makes the grand prize for tonight's drawing the fourth largest ever. Odds of winning that hitting jackpot are 1 in 292 million.
Oof. Well, coming up, the holiday decoration that had neighbors running to the rescue.
Plus, Dancing with the Stars returns to Ukraine, and the new headliners might surprise you.
Time to check the pulse, beginning with an all-too-real holiday display.
So this guy in Canada made a realistic-looking Clark Griswold hanging from a gutter while installing house lights, just like in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
A good Samaritan attempting to come to the rescue.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Holy moly.
Basically, the same thing happened 2 years ago when construction workers rushed to help with the ladder. The homeowner says people just want to help Clark out. Now to a PSA from the TSA offering a helpful tip for the holidays.
They're advising travelers to avoid a certain type of bling at the airport. This post reads, the body scanners don't love sparkles. We don't want to dull your holiday shine, but we don't recommend wearing your sparkly holiday sweater.
And those who refuse to ditch their bedazzled clothing could be in for extra screenings and pat-downs.
Ukraine's version of Dancing with the Stars is making a comeback as the war there rages on.
Yeah, but it's just for one special episode. This time it features Ukraine's wartime heroes. In a show of resilience, they're dancing with prosthetic limbs.
Producer of the show says it's about their strength and their future. Fun fact, by the way, President Zelensky won the competition 20 years ago when he was an actor.
Finally, a Christmas gift for Marvel fans.
But you're gonna need some patience. The first teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday is dropped, revealing that Chris Evans is returning as Steve Rogers, the man also known as Captain America. The trailer reveals he is now a dad. Marvel's Avengers Doomsday hits theaters next December. Marvel is part of Disney, by the way, the parent company of ABC News.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, at least 2 people were killed and 20 others injured after an explosion at a nursing home near Philadelphia. It happened as firefighters were investigating reports of a gas leak. A staff member says she smelled gas at the facility a few days ago.
Former Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse has announced he is terminally ill. The 53-year-old father of 3 says he was diagnosed last week with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was one of 7 Republicans to vote to convict President Trump in his second impeachment trial.
Insurance giant Aflac is revealing the scope of a data breach that occurred over the summer. The company confirmed that it's notifying more than 22 million affected customers. A filing shows the stolen data includes names, social security numbers, dates of birth, and medical information.
And today's weather, rain along the west coast, the heaviest hitting Southern California. That same storm could drop up to 6 feet of snow in the Sierras.
And finally, Christmas down under.
One guy who's lighting the way spoke with Danny New.
G'day folks, live from Merry Strickland Christmas.
An Australian home with a Christmas display so famous,
Traffic marshal's doing a sensational job.
It even needs a traffic marshal.
It's a full-time job on top of my full-time job just for the Christmas season.
But it's worth it.
It is.
David Strickland and his family are behind what's become known around Brisbane as Merry Strickland Christmas.
Merry Strickland Christmas is back again this year,
where thousands visit to see a holiday show headlined by Elsa, Mario, Bluey, and even a trio of head beam lights. In fact, the latter required approval from Australia's Aviation Authority.
But you wouldn't be deterred. You had to have them.
Had to have them.
And this year is actually a bit of a comeback story. David had been building up his lights for a few years before 2023 when he really went all out. However, that led to some negative feedback about all the traffic, which David says could reach 4 kilometers in length.
It just made me question, why I'm doing it. So at the end of 2023, I ended up selling every light.
But during their year off in 2024, David says they received such a clamoring on social media to bring it all back, he decided to focus on the positive comments instead.
Part of those messages is people that are going through some tough times, or they've had a death in the family, that my lights have actually brought their families closer and it's brought them some joy.
As you can see, Mary Strickland Christmas has returned, and even though it's now about a third of the size, David says he has to start assembling the parts by August. And if you were wondering about the electric bill,
that's January's problem.
By the way, David had to custom order his Bluey inflatable because he says they weren't available in Australia yet when he got it. Bluey, of course, streams at our parent company's Disney Plus, guys.
What a great light display. Danny, thank you. That's your Good Morning America first look.
Yeah, he really pulled out all the stops there. Have a great Christmas Eve, everyone.